Hello and welcome to this special presentation from inside the Parliament House complex, wherein we bring you some important questions asked by the members of Parliament and responded to by the government on the floor of the House in previous session. I am Vishal Dahiya, and with me is my colleague Kriti Mishra.
Thank you so much, Vishal. So let's take our viewers through important questions that we've picked up for them in this edition of Question Hour. And the first question in this edition is from member Vijaypal Singh Tomar, and this one pertains to the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. And Mr. Tomar has asked whether the government has made any qualitative and quantitative assessment of the nature of risks involved in the major crops as a result of climate or weather change and localized after calamities.
Well, the government in its response to this question says that it has conducted several studies to measure and quantify the adverse effects of climate change on agriculture. Extensive field and simulation studies were carried out in agriculture and allied sectors by several network centers consisting ICR institutes such as Indian Agriculture Research Institute at New Delhi, Central Research Institute for Dryland Agriculture at Hyderabad, Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute Kochi, Indian Institute of Horticulture Research at Bangalore, etc., and state agriculture universities located in different parts of the country. Now, the climate change impact assessment was carried out using the crop simulation models by incorporating the projected climates of 2020, 2050 and 2080. Most of the results were obtained through incorporating the future projections by using modeling techniques like HAD-CM3 model. From these projections, variability in temperatures and rainfall pattern was observed in future periods with significant impact on crop yields. The Indian Network for Climate Change Assessment, that is INCCA, of the Ministry of Environment and Forest, has studied the climate change impact assessment in the Himalayan region. Now, the next question is also addressed to the Ministry of Agriculture, and this one comes in from member Narayan Lal Pancharia, who wants to know from the government whether it has taken any decision to expand the scope of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana.
The answer given by the government is an affirmative, and the government says that Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana has been expanded to cover all farmers' families in the country, irrespective of the size of their land holding, subject to all other existing exclusion criteria relating for higher income strata. It is expected that an additional 2 crore farmer families will be covered, and initially 75,000 crore rupees was allocated for the financial year 2019-20. And with the expansion of the ambit of the scheme, the expected expenditure of the scheme for the financial year 2019-20 has been revised from 87,217.50 crore, including the administrative charges of 217.50 crore rupees. Moving on to the next question, and this one is to the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and this one has been asked by member Banda Prakash. And Mr. Prakash has asked whether the government is developing new financial models to develop greenfield airports to make air travel more affordable and addressing concerns over disputes related to tariff.
Well, the government in its response says that some of the greenfield airports are taken up by state governments in partnership with the private investors. Some greenfield airports are taken up by Airports Authority of India directly. Now, the government of India has established Airports Economic Regulatory Authority, that is AERA, to determine the tariffs in respect of aeronautical services provided at major airports in the country. AERA determines aeronautical tariff, including user development fee based on traffic projection made by an airport operator for a given control period of 5 years, fair rate of return on investment, and provisions to meet operation and maintenance cost. Further, several models of tariff at airports such as cost plus approach, predetermined tariff model, maximum blended aeronautical yield are prevalent and are employed by the regulatory authorities worldwide. In India, AERA determines the aeronautical tariff based on the cost plus method. Well, the next question is also to the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and this one comes in from member Jose K. Bani, and he wants to know from the government whether, with significant drop in overseas capacity due to grounding of a major Indian private carrier, Air India now plans to take advantage by expanding its network to destinations like Nairobi, Hong Kong and Bali.
In the response, the government says that Air India plans to commence operations to Nairobi and also to Bali. However, these proposed operations to from Nairobi or Bali are not linked to the grounding of the Indian private carrier, since the said carrier was not operating to these two destinations. Air India also plans to commence operations from Mumbai to Hong Kong with effect of 19 September 2019 against the unutilized traffic rights of Jet Airways on a temporary basis till the end of summer 2019 scheduled period. The unutilized traffic rights of the grounded Indian private carrier Jet Airways have been temporarily allocated to Air India for operations to and from Dubai, Doha and London till the end of summer 2019 scheduled period. Air India operates Dreamliner aircraft on Mumbai to Dubai as well as from Kochi to Dubai sector. Moving on to the next question, and this one is to the Ministry of Communications and asked by member Sarojini Hembram. And Mrs. Hembram has asked the number of post offices which have been provided with online transactions and core banking facilities during the last 3 years in the country.
The Communications Ministry, in its detailed response, says that a total of 1,52,846 post offices have been provided with online transaction facility, and out of these, core banking facilities are there in 23,685 departmental post offices. A total of 1,29,161 branch post offices have been provided with subscriber identity module, that is SIM-based handheld devices for providing online transaction facilities. In order to further enhance the process of online transactions, intra-operable net banking facility has also been launched in core banking post offices for savings bank account holders. Now, with this facility, a post office savings bank account holder of a core banking post office will now be able to view balances, view transaction details, open new recurring deposits, time deposit accounts, close RD or TD accounts, make PPF deposits, can transfer funds to another post office savings account and lodge stop check requests, etc. as additional facilities. The next one is also addressed to the Ministry of Communications, and this one also comes in from member Jose K. Mani, and he wants to know from the government whether there is a widespread complaint from video callers that video calls freeze and drop so often due to poor fiber connectivity and low intracity fiber infrastructure across the country.
Well, the government has given a very comprehensive reply to this question, and the government goes on to say that in mobile networks, more data speed is required for video calls, which are possible in 3G and 4G networks only. As on 1st of June 2019, there are around 5,25,007 numbers of 2G based transceiver stations and 3,57,805 numbers of 3G and 12,62,841 numbers of 4G BTs in the country. Various telecom service providers fiberize their network for specific tower sites. As per the details provided by telecom service providers, about 31% of TSP sites have been connected to fiber network in the country. The infrastructure and the equipment used for providing mobile communications belong to various telecom service providers, and the decisions regarding providing connectivity to the TSP sites through fiber or through other means is taken based on various techno-commercial considerations, including network capacity required at a particular physical site. As per details provided by the TSPs, a total number of 2,19,949 TSP sites out of total 7,06,948 TSP sites have been fiberized. TRAI has issued the standards for quality of service for basic wireline and cellular mobile telephone services, 5th Amendment Regulations 2017, effective from 1st of October 2017. However, there is no separate category for video call drop complaints. The government further says that data for fiberization of mobile towers for other countries is not maintained by the government. However, the National Digital Communications Policy 2018, announced by the Department of Telecommunications, aims at implementation of Fiber First initiative to take fiber to the home. Industry associations have provided various suggestions and proposed solutions for facilitating fiber to the tower program to enable fiberization of at least 60% of telecom towers, thereby accelerating migration to 4G and 5G services. Moving on to the last question of this edition of Question Hour, and this one has been asked by member Vinay P. Sahasrabudhe, and this one is to the Ministry of Culture. And Mr. Sahasrabudhe has asked the projects undertaken under the National Mission on Libraries and the amount spent on creation of National Virtual Library of India.
Well, as per the government's response, the National Mission on Libraries consists of the National Virtual Library of India, setting up of NML model library, quantitative and qualitative survey, and capacity building. An amount of 71.78 crore rupees has been released to IIT Bombay for creation of National Virtual Library of India till date. Also, digitization of manuscripts is being done under the National Mission for Manuscripts and by the other organization under this ministry who are repository of the manuscripts. Till now, 55,259 manuscripts have been digitized during last 3 years. So, Kriti, that's all we have for our viewers in this segment of Question Hour.
Absolutely, Vishal. But on the other side, we'll have Prashnakal with our colleagues Arvind Singh and Kriti Singh. Stay tuned.